Good evening, this is TCN English News Edition, and you're watching with me, Ning Hoi Kim Khong Sai. First, the headlines. International Day Against Drug Abuse and Illicit Trafficking organized. Om Birla elected Lok Sabha Speaker for second straight time after re-election. Rahul Gandhi appointed leader of opposition in Lok Sabha. News in detail. Manipur Chief Minister N. Biren Singh on Wednesday revealed that drug trafficking cases have witnessed a decline in the state, attributing this progress to the concerted efforts of people from the hills and valleys along with security forces. Additionally, poppy plantations have reportedly decreased by 50 to 60%, according to satellite data mapping, a significant achievement in the state's fight against drug abuse. With the active support of its village chiefs, valley-based civil societies, and security personnel, drug trafficking in the state has declined to some extent, Singh stated at an event marking the International Day Against Drug Abuse and Illegal Trafficking. He highlighted that the 1990s saw Manipur grappling with a severe drug management and a high rate of HIV-positive cases. Since then, his government has launched a robust initiative against drug abuse, leading to the arrest of many smugglers and individuals associated with international cartels. In observance of the International Day Against Drug Abuse and Illegal Trafficking, Singh fledged off a bike rally from his secretariat. The rally, featuring over 100 officers and security personnel, aims to spread awareness about the importance of combating cross-border illegal trafficking. With the support from the masses, the government will remain committed to uprooting the drug menace from the state, he added. The International Day Against Drug Abuse and Illicit Trafficking program was also commemorated at Moret Police under the guidance of O.C. Salahuddin, since Moret shares border with Myanmar and also a key location for business. We have witnessed cohabitants and youth indulging in drugs, which is so unfortunate for the community. And not only that, in the worst case scenario, they become a victim of drugs, leading them to the death. Moret Police also says he can envision that our community is not moving forward to growth and development, and that might even cause troubles for us at community level if the youth and cohabitants keep indulging in drugs. The program was followed by a rally and echoes on slogans led by Moret Police and the people at community level. Senior BJP MP Om Birla was today re-elected as the Speaker of the 18th Lok Sabha. He was elected with a voice vote as the opposition, which fielded Congress MP K. Suresh for the post, did not press for voting in the House. After his elections, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, leader of opposition Rahul Gandhi, and Parliamentary Affairs Minister Kiren Rijiju escorted Birla to the Speaker's chair. Birla had previously served as Speaker in the last Lok Sabha. In his address, Om Birla thanked all the members of the House for giving him the opportunity to serve as Speaker again and for their trust in him. He emphasized that enriching parliamentary values and democratic traditions will be his priorities. Birla highlighted that the 18th Lok Sabha represents the world's largest celebrations of democracy, with over 64 crore voters participating in the elections with great enthusiasm. He stressed that MPs have a responsibility to collectively fulfill the expectations, hopes, and aspirations of the people effectively. The Speaker underscored the importance of debate and discussion in the House instead of stalemate, emphasizing that protest methods should uphold the dignity of the House. Birla added that the chair takes strict actions only to maintain the dignity and decorum of the House. Earlier, congratulating Birla on his re-election, Prime Minister Narendra Modi said, "History is being made today with the re-elections of Birla for the second time. He expressed confidence that the House looks forward to Birla guidance in the next 5 years, citing his past achievements as an inspiration for new members. Modi noted that the previous Lok Sabha under Birla's leadership achieved record productivity of 97%, which increased public faith in parliamentary democracy. Leader of opposition Rahul Gandhi also congratulated Birla, affirming that the House represents the voice of the people. He assured Birla of the opposition's support in ensuring that the smooth functioning of the House, emphasizing that cooperation is based on trust and that opposition voices should be heard. Samajwadi Party leader Akhilesh Yadav expressed hope that the opposition would receive ample opportunities to voice their concerns, emphasizing the Speaker's role in maintaining impartiality and respecting both the Treasury bench and opposition members. Various other leaders, including TMC MP Sudeep Bandyopadhyay, Shiv Sena UBT leader Arvind Sawant, NCP Sharad Pawar, MP Supriya Sule, and others shared their perspectives on the occasion. Congress MP Rahul Gandhi has been appointed as the leader of opposition in the Lok Sabha following a meeting of the floor leaders of India Bloc. Congress leader K.C. Venugopal Fare said that Sonia Gandhi wrote to pro-team speaker informing about the decision. Earlier today, AIMIM MP from Hyderabad, Asaduddin OIC sparked controversy as he said Jaipal did, while oath-taking at the second day of the parliament session. Om Birla from NDA and India Bloc's Kesuras have filed nominations for the speaker post. Meanwhile, oath ceremony for the remaining MPs has begun. India Bloc MPs gathered in the Parliament complex on Monday in a show of strength on the first day of the first sessions of 18 Lok Sabha, holding copies of the constitutions and raising slogans on saving democracy. Opposition leaders including Congress President Mallikarjun Kharge, Party leader Rahul Gandhi, Trinamool Congress Sudeep Bandyopadhyay, DMK's D.R. Balu, among others, assembled at the spot where the Gandhi statue once stood in the Parliament complex. Former Congress President Sonia Gandhi also joined the MPs. Holding copies of the constitutions in their hands, they raised slogans such as "Long live Constitution," "We will save Constitution," "Save our democracy." The death toll due to the consumption of spirituous liquor in Tamil Nadu's Kallakurichi district has shot up to 61. As many as 118 people have been receiving treatment at different hospitals after the whose tragedy unfolded in Karunapuram village on June 18. The rise in deaths came even as the National Human Rights Commission (NHRC) took a suo motu cognizance of the same and issued notice to Tamil Nadu Chief Secretary and the Director General of State Police seeking a detailed report on the incident within a week. The National Commission for Women (NCW) has also taken suo motu cognizance of the deaths of 6 women in the whose tragedy and constituted a 3-member committee to inquire about the matter. The statutory body's member, Khushbu Sundar, will visit the families of these victims today and also those who are undergoing treatment. The whose tragedy, meanwhile, has triggered a political flashpoint between the ruling DMK led by Chief Minister M.K. Stalin and the AIADMK in the opposition. The AIADMK legislators were suspended for the remaining days of the assembly session, with Stalin reiterating that the state government was ready to reply to questions. But opposition leaders are not accepting this, and speaking outside is not acceptable. It's done for cheap publicity, the Tamil Nadu Chief Minister said. However, the leader of the opposition, Edappadi K. Palaniswamy, claimed the suspension was already planned. "We were not allowed to speak. We followed the rules, but it was rejected. We were not allowed to speak in question yesterday," Palaniswamy said. The AIADMK leader further claimed that after they walked out of the assembly on Tuesday, Stalin gave a 15-minute reply. "Our voices are being blocked," Palaniswamy said. The AIADMK MPs have been clipped wearing black shirts in Tamil Nadu assembly over the past few days and were reported to raise slogans over the Hood's tragedy. On Tuesday, they were suspended for a day, but now the suspension has been extended. The India Meteorological Department IMD in its latest weather forecast informed that conditions are set to become conducive for the southwest monsoon to advance further into remaining parts of West, Central and East India, along with certain areas of Northwest India over the next 3 to 4 days. The monsoon's progress is also anticipated in additional regions of the North Arabian Sea, Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, and southeastern Rajasthan in the coming days. Heavy to very heavy rainfall is likely in parts of the west coast and over northeast India during the next 4 to 5 days. On the other hand, the weather forecast issued by the Met Office warns of potential heatwave conditions affecting isolated pockets of Jammu divisions of 26 to 27 June and in Punjab and West Rajasthan today. It is expected that maximum temperatures across northwest and central India will remain relatively unchanged over the next 2 days, before decreasing by 2 to 4 degrees Celsius thereafter. The Met Office has forecast generally cloudy skies with light rainfall or thunderstorms for today, accompanied by gusty winds ranging from 25 to 35 kilometers per hour. Temperatures in the capital are expected to reach a maximum of around 38 degrees Celsius and a minimum of about 28 degrees Celsius. The national capital has been placed on a yellow alert for the next 7 days. This comes after the maximum temperature dropped below 40 degrees Celsius following a western disturbance in northwest India. Delhi has been experiencing severe heat, with 9 heat wave days recorded in June so far, contrasting sharply with no such days in 2023 and 2022. IMD has issued a yellow alert for Mumbai today, forecasting heavy rainfall in the city and its suburbs. Maximum temperatures are expected around 32 degrees Celsius and a minimum temperature nearly 27 degrees Celsius. Occasional heavy showers are anticipated along with moderate wind speeds. The Weather Department predicts the following weather for Mumbai over the next 5 days. On June 27th, expects a minimum temperature of 25 degrees Celsius and a maximum of 32 degrees Celsius with a cloudy sky and a moderate rain. On 28 June, similar conditions are likely with temperature ranging from 25 to 32 degrees Celsius and continued cloudy skies with moderate rainfall. Four members of a family died when a compound wall of the neighboring property collapsed on their dwelling in Kotaru, Madani Nagar village here on Wednesday, officials said. The incident occurred at 6:30 a.m., they said, aiding the compound wall of the neighboring house gave way following heavy rains on Tuesday night. According to the fire department, the soil underneath had loosened up and the wall collapsed on the adjacent house. According to locals, the wall of the neighbor was built very close to the house of the victim Yasir, and there were frequent arguments between them over the wall. Rescue workers rushed to the spot after the incident and dug out the bodies from the debris. A case was registered and investigation is on. Amid ongoing controversies over alleged irregularities in NEET and NET exams, the Union Public Service Commission for UPSC has opted to enhance exam security using facial recognitions and AI-based CCTV surveillance systems, as reported by news agency PTI. Recently, it issued a tender seeking bids from experienced public sector entities to implement 2 technological solutions. Aadhaar-based fingerprint authentications or digital fingerprint capturing and facial recognitions for candidates, along with QR code scanning of e-admit cards and live AI-based CCTV surveillance services during examinations. The Union Public Service Commission's UPSC, a constitutional authority, administers 14 major exams annually, including the prestigious civil services examinations for roles like IAS, IFS, and IPS officers. Additionally, it conducts numerous recruitment tests and interviews for Group A and B posts within the central government. These examinations are anticipated to attract around 26 lakh candidates, conducted across a network of up to 80 centers spanning cities such as Leh Kargil, Srinagar, Imphal, Agartala, Aizawl, and Gangtok. The UPSC attaches great importance to the conduct of its examinations in a free, fair, and impartial manner. In its endeavor to fulfill these objectives, the Commission intends to make use of the latest digital technology to match and cross-check the biometric details of the candidates and to monitor various activities of the candidates during the examinations to prevent cheating, fraud, unfair means, and impersonation. Read the tender document dated June 3, 2024. The Commission's aim to integrate Aadhaar-based fingerprint authentications or digital fingerprint capturing, facial recognitions of candidates, QR code scanning of e-admit cards, and live AI-based CCTV video surveillance to enhance the examination process. This initiative is intended to bolster security measures and prevent candidate malpractices effectively. The service provider selected will utilize UPSC-provided data for Aadhaar-based fingerprint authentications and facial recognitions as outlined in the tender document scope of work. Provisions should be made for a real-time attendance monitoring system through a secured web server. Systems should have provisions for real-time monitoring of the enrollment activity, along with GPS coordinates against every enrollment and timestamp to ensure that enrollment is done during the stipulated shift state. The Commission emphasized that facial recognition should be conducted as a fully stateless transactions involving two images, one submitted during online registrations and the other taken on the day of the examination. In response, the UPSC announced plans to implement comprehensive CCTV or video surveillance systems. These systems will monitor all activities of candidates and personnel involved in conducting examinations at various centers nationwide, ensuring a secure environment. According to the UPSC, the service provider will install a sufficient number of CCTV color cameras in its examinations venue. Specifically, a minimum of one CCTV camera will be installed per room, regardless of the number of candidates present. Additional cameras will be installed at a ratio of 1 camera for every 24 candidates in larger exam halls, ensuring comprehensive coverage without blind spots. The AI-powered video surveillance system is expected to generate alerts for various scenarios, including unauthorized movement at entry or exit points during the exam, improper arrangement of furniture in classrooms, offline or tampered cameras, movement detected outside designated times, and inactive behavior of invigilators beyond specified periods. The system will be designed to raise immediate red flags for potential cheating, use of unfair means, or absence of invigilator supervision. The BICE submissions deadline for this project is July 7th at 1 p.m., with BICE being opened on the same day at 1:30 p.m. This initiative by the UPSC gains significance amidst ongoing scrutiny of alleged irregularities of the UGC NET and NEET UG examinations conducted by the National Testing Agency, with investigations by the Central Bureau of Investigation (CBI) currently underway. India has issued advisory for its nationals in Kenya as protests against a tax hike turned violent, creating a rampage in the African nations. The Indian embassy in Kenya on Tuesday advised the Indian nationals there to exercise utmost caution and avoid the areas affected by the protests and violence till the situation improves. The Indian missions also advised the Indian nationals to follow local news and missions website and social media handles for updates. In view of the prevailing tense situations, all Indians in Kenya are advised to exercise utmost caution, restrict non-essential movement, and avoid the areas affected by the protests and violence till the situation clears up, the embassy stated. This comes as the protests against proposed tax hikes in Kenya are the target of widespread protests, which are expected to culminate in a total shutdown of the nations. The people in the country have been organizing rallies under the title of 7 Days of Rage in response to Finance Bill 2024, which has generated additional days of unrest around the country, reported CNN. Meanwhile, amid rising protests, Omar Obama, the half-sister of former U.S. President Barack Obama, was tear-gassed live on air on Tuesday, CNN reported. The incident occurred when Omar Obama, who is a Kenyan British activist, was in chat with CNN's Larry Madowo with a group of teenage protesters. "I can't even see anymore. We're being tear-gassed," she said. The demonstrations coincide with Kenya's rising international profile following U.S. President Joe Biden's designations of the country as a major non-NATO ally on Monday. This is the first time a country in sub-Saharan Africa has been granted this designation. In May, as part of a major state visit to White House honoring 60 years of diplomatic ties between the two countries, Biden declared his intention to promote Kenya to his status. China's Chang'e 6 lunar module returned to Earth Tuesday, successfully completing its historic mission to collect the first ever samples from far side of the moon in a major step forward for the country's ambitious space program. The re-entry module successfully landed in a designated zone in China's northern Inner Mongolia region after 2 p.m. local time, according to state broadcaster CCTV. A live stream carried by CCTV showed the module touching down through parachute to a round of applause in the mission control room. The Chang'e 6 lunar explorations mission has been a complete success, said Zhang Kezian, head of the China National Space Administration (CNSA), from the control room. A search team located the module minutes after its landing, according to CCTV. The live stream showed a worker carrying out checks on the module, which lay on grassland beside a Chinese flag. The successful mission is a key milestone in China's eternal dream, as articulated by Chinese leader Xi Jinping, to establish the country as the dominant space power, and comes as a number of countries, including the United States, also ramp up their own lunar exploration programs. In a congratulatory message Tuesday, Xi hailed the mission as another landmark achievement in building a strong country in space and science and technology. Beijing plans to send astronauts to the moon by 2030 and build a research base at the lunar South Pole, a region believed to contain water ice where the U.S. also hoped to establish a base. The Chang'e 6 probe is expected to have returned to Earth with up to 2 kilograms of moon dust and rocks from the lunar far side, which will be analyzed by researchers in China before being opened for access by international scientists, according to CNSA. Results from the analysis of the samples could help scientists peer back into the evolutions of the moon, the Earth, and the solar system, while also aiding China's aim to utilize resources on the moon to further its explorations there, expert says. The samples were collected using a drill and robotic arm from locations within the sprawling South Pole Aitken Basin, an impact crater 4 billion years ago on the moon's far side, which is never visible to Earth. And Sander then lifted them off the lunar surface and transferred them in lunar orbit to a re-entry vehicle, which then traveled back to Earth after separating from its lunar orbiter. The progress of Chang'e 6, China's most technically complex mission to date, has been followed with intense interest within the country since its launch on May 3rd. Earlier this month, images of the lunar lander displaying the Chinese flag and appearing to have drilled the character Zhong, shorthand for China, on the lunar surface went viral on Chinese social media. The return of the lunar model Tuesday also comes after suspected debris from a separate Chinese rocket was seen plummeting to the ground in southwest China on Saturday, leaving a trail of bright yellow smoke and sending villages running, according to videos on Chinese social media and sent to CNN by local witness. The intensive phase of Israel's offensive in Gaza will end soon, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said Sunday, but he signaled that he would accept only a partial ceasefire deal that would not end the war, and that this new phase would allow a shift in focus to the simmering conflict on the country's northern border with Lebanon. Netanyahu's comments appear to break further away from US-supported truce deal with Hamas, setting the stage for his latest clash with the Biden administration and the families of hostages still held in Gaza. They also felt new international concern about escalations with the Iran-backed militant group Hezbollah that could ignite a broader regional conflict. Speaking Sunday with Israel's Channel 14 in what appeared to be his first major interview with an Israeli media outlet since October 7, Netanyahu said the current phase of fighting was set to wind down. The intensive phase of the war against Hamas is about to end. It doesn't mean that the war is about to end, but its intensive phase is about to end in Rafah, he said, referring to the city once deemed a safe zone in the south of the Palestinian enclave. We will continue afterward to mow the lawn. We will not give up on that, Netanyahu said, speaking in Hebrew. After that, we will have the option to move part of the force to the north. We will do that, he said. He also said he was ready to make a partial deal that would secure the release of some of the hostages, but he reiterated that Israel would continue its offensive in Gaza even if there were a ceasefire to achieve the goal of eliminating Hamas. Hamas seized upon Netanyahu's comments, saying his bid for a partial deal was a clear rejection of the proposal outlined by President Joe Biden for a comprehensive three-phase agreement to release the hostages and end the fighting in Gaza. Netanyahu's office responded last Sunday that it was Hamas which opposed the deal, not Israel. Prime Minister Netanyahu has made it clear that we will not leave Gaza until we return all 120 of our hostages, living and deceased, it said. Washington has also maintained that Hamas was holding up a deal, but the families of the remaining hostages hit out at Netanyahu, suggesting that he had backed away from the U.S. proposal. A group representing them condemned his statement, which is said abandons 120 hostages and violates the state's moral obligations to its citizens. Israel and the U.S. continue to clash over weapons shipments. Speaking Sunday during a visit to Washington, Israel Defense Minister Yoav Gallant maintained that Israeli officials were committed to ensuring a strong U.S.-Israel alliance. Yet Netanyahu on Sunday repeated accusations that Washington was withholding weapons, telling his cabinet there had been a dramatic drop in deliveries about 4 months ago. The Biden administration has rejected his claims. A North Korean ballistic missile test Wednesday likely ended in failure, South Korea's military said days after the North protested the recent regional deployment of U.S. aircraft carrier for a trilateral military drill with South Korea and Japan. South Korea's Joint Chiefs of Staff said in a statement that North Korea launched a ballistic missile from its capital region around 5:30 a.m. on Wednesday. It said the missile was launched towards the northeastern waters, but the launch was suspected to have ended in failure. The Joint Chiefs of Staff said South Koreans and U.S. intelligence authorities are analyzing details of the North Korean launch, but it didn't immediately explain why it believes that launch failed. Japan's defense ministry said earlier Wednesday that it also detected a suspected ballistic missile launched by North Korea. South Korea's Yonhap news agency reported the North Korean missile flew about 250 kilometers, 155 miles. Yonhap cited an unidentified South Korean military source as saying North Korea was believed to have tested a hypersonic missile. Japanese media reported the North Korean projectile fell outside Japan's exclusive economic zone. The North's reported launch also came hours after South Korea said North Korea floated huge balloons likely carrying trash across the border for a second consecutive day. North Korea has conducted a series of trash-carrying balloon launches towards South Korea since late May in what it calls a tit-for-tat response to South Korean activists flying political leaflets through their own balloons. On June 9, South Korea briefly restarted propaganda broadcast from its border loudspeakers for the first time in years in response. South Korea's military said it was ready to return on its loudspeakers again. The USS Theodore Roosevelt arrived in South Korea on Saturday, and South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol boarded the carrier on Tuesday, the first sitting South Korean president to board a U.S. aircraft carrier since 1994. Yoon told American and South Korean troops on the carrier that their country's alliance is the world's greatest and can defeat any enemy. He said the U.S. carrier is to leave Wednesday for the South Korea-U.S.-Japan drill, dubbed Freedom Edge. The training is aimed at sharpening the country's combined response in various areas of operations, including air, sea, and cyberspace. North Korea's Vice Defense Minister Kim Kang-ju on Monday called the U.S. aircraft carriers deployment reckless and dangerous. North Korea has previously called major U.S.-South Korean drills invasions rehearsals and reacted with missile tests. Seoul officials say the upcoming South Korea-U.S.-Japan training is meant to strengthen the three countries' response capabilities against North Korea's evolving nuclear threats at the time when the North is advancing its military partnerships with Russia. During a summit in Pyongyang last week, North Korean leader Kim Jong-un and Russian President Vladimir Putin signed a deal requiring its country to provide aid if attacked and vote to boost other cooperations. Observers say the accord represents the strongest connections between the two countries since the end of the Cold War. The United States and its partners believe North Korea has been providing Russia with much-needed conventional arms for its war in Ukraine in return for military and economic assistance. North Korea's reported missile launch, its first weapons demonstration since Kim Jong-un on May 30, supervised the firing of nuclear-capable multiple rocket launcher to stimulate preemptive active on South Korea. The drill came days after North Korea's attempt to put its second spy satellite into orbit ended in failure, when its rocket carrying that satellite exploding in mid-air soon after liftoff. Since 2022, North Korea has sharply increased the pace of weapons tests to increase its nuclear attack capabilities to cope with what it calls an deepening U.S. military threat. Foreign experts say North Korea eventually aims to use its larger nuclear arsenal to wrest greater concessions from the U.S. when diplomacy resumes. That's all from us tonight, and we thank you for joining our program.